What if I told you there's a legal loan in America with an average interest rate of nearly 400%? According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, this isn't a fringe product or some back alley deal. It's a $9 billion mainstream industry, hiding in plain sight on main streets across the country. 12 million Americans use these loans every year. That's more than the entire population of Ohio, all reaching for what they believe is a lifeline in a moment of crisis. Imagine this. Your car breaks down. The repair is $500 you don't have, and you don't get paid for another 10 days. A storefront, or maybe just a website, offers you the cash instantly. Clean, professional, reassuring. They explain the fee and how you simply pay it all back on your next payday. It sounds manageable. It sounds like a solution to a temporary problem. But for the overwhelming majority, the problem is anything but temporary. After seeing this machine is designed to profit from failure, what does it say about our financial system that it's perfectly legal? Answer in the comments below. This exact pattern of innovation hiding a destructive trap is repeating right now on a much larger scale. Our next video exposes the crypto heist that used the same playbook to perfection. Subscribe and turn on notifications, or you will miss what's coming. Like if you see the connection, and share this with someone who needs to understand the truth. The CFPB found that a staggering 80% of these loans are not paid off, but renewed or rolled over. That $500 problem doesn't disappear in 2 weeks. It becomes a $600 problem the next month, then $750. The original debt doesn't shrink, it metastasizes. The average borrower remains trapped for 5 months of the year, paying far more in fees than they ever received in cash. This isn't simply a story of high interest or financial irresponsibility. What borrowers don't know? What is hidden in the very structure of the agreement? Is that this outcome isn't an unfortunate side effect. It is the business model. At its core, the architecture of this financial product is engineered for this exact cycle. It's a solution designed for your failure. So how does this happen? How does a simple, one-time emergency loan systematically spiral into a long-term debt trap? Unraveling this requires looking past the shocking interest rate and into the machinery of the loan itself, a hidden mechanism that turns borrower failure into the primary source of profit. This cycle of debt isn't some unfortunate market externality. It's an industry, a highly profitable one. According to the Pew Charitable Trusts, payday lenders collect around $9 billion in fee revenue every single year. To put that in perspective, $9 billion is more than the entire annual GDP of the nation of Montenegro. It's a staggering amount of wealth extracted, 2 weeks at a time, from the country's most financially vulnerable households. And when you follow the money, you begin to see the architecture of the operation. You find men like Scott Tucker, operating from the shadows of an office park in Kansas. Tucker ran a massive, illegal payday lending enterprise that generated over $3.5 billion in revenue by systematically deceiving and defrauding millions of Americans. He used the profits to fund a professional auto racing team and a lavish lifestyle, all while his victims spiraled into debt. He wasn't just a loan shark. He was a titan of industry whose business model was simply a more aggressive version of the one operating legally down the street. The U.S. Department of Justice called it a racket, and in 2018, Tucker was sentenced to more than 16 years in federal prison. But to dismiss Scott Tucker as a lone wolf is to miss the point entirely. His crime wasn't that he invented a predatory system. It was that he got caught breaking the flimsy rules that govern it. The legal side of the industry understands the game far better. They don't have to break the law when they can help write it. As reported by OpenSecrets.org, the lending and financial services industry spends tens of millions of dollars every single election cycle on federal lobbying. They're not buying ads. They're buying access. They are purchasing the regulatory environment they need to operate. So let's connect the dots. An industry generates billions in fees from a product that traps 80% of its users. Its most extreme practitioners build empires worth billions. And the industry as a whole invests millions to ensure the laws remain favorable. You might find yourself thinking it's all part of a system, a solution designed for your failure. This begs two fundamental questions. First, how is it even legal for a financial product to carry an interest rate that equates to 400%? And second, if the legal business model and the criminal enterprise are both built on the exact same foundation of borrower failure, Where do we draw the line between a legitimate service and a perfectly legal shakedown? So we have a system that looks predatory, acts predatory, and whose most extreme practitioners end up in federal prison. The case seems closed. And yet, if you put this accusation to the industry itself, you get a calm, practiced denial. A story not of predation, but of necessity. Their defense is simple, and on the surface, deeply compelling. The industry argues it provides essential access to credit for millions of Americans shut out by traditional banks. In their narrative, a payday loan isn't a trap. It's a lifeline. The only lifeline for someone facing eviction or a sudden medical bill with a damaged credit score. They don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as financial first responders, the lenders of last resort, stepping into the void the mainstream financial system created. This is the paradox at the very core of this multi-billion-dollar machine, the nuclear question of the entire debate. Can both of these realities coexist? Can a product be both a vital emergency service and a financial instrument whose profitability is fueled by trapping 80% of its users? Is this industry a necessary evil, filling a legitimate market gap? Or is it a perfectly legal trap? To find the truth, we have to look past the heated arguments on both sides. The answer isn't in their PR or in our outrage. It's in the architecture of the loan itself. The industry's story of a lifeline crumbles under the weight of its own data. The central fact, published by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is this: 4 out of every 5 payday loans are reborrowed within a month. This isn't an exception, it's the norm. This is the symptom of the trap, a cycle the industry calls a rollover or a renewal. It's a deceptively simple term for taking out a new loan just to pay off the old one. This cycle becomes a brutal treadmill. Research from the Pew Charitable Trusts reveals the average borrower isn't just in debt for 2 weeks. They are trapped for 5 months of the year. Consider Pew's typical example. A borrower takes out a $375 loan. Over those 5 months of renewals, they will pay an average of $520 in fees alone, paying back the loan amount nearly 1.5 times over, without ever touching the original principal. This isn't a loan. It's a subscription to debt, a financial quicksand where the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. And what happens if a borrower tries to break the cycle and defaults? The punishment is automated. A separate CFPB study found that after a default, there is a 50% chance the lender will launch repeated, automated debit attempts on the borrower's bank account. These attempts often fail, but not before triggering a cascade of overdraft fees from the bank, digging the borrower into an even deeper hole. The architecture of the system actively punishes any attempt to escape it. It is, in every functional sense, a solution designed for your failure. The fallout is a pattern of financial devastation, repeated millions of times across the country. A machine that predictably and efficiently extracts wealth from those who have the least. So you have to ask, what kind of person builds something like this? To understand how this machine was built, you have to go back to a time before the neon signs and the 24/7's online portals. Back to a world where a 400% APR loan wasn't just illegal. It was functionally unimaginable. For most of the 20th century, American finance was rigid, predictable, and governed by a simple principle: usury. Laws across the country placed hard caps on interest rates, creating a stable, exclusionary system. If you were inside that system, with a good job, a good credit score, and a relationship with your local bank, it worked. But millions of Americans weren't. For them, a sudden expense wasn't an inconvenience. It was a cliff edge. And the mainstream financial world offered no safety net. This wasn't a market failure. It was a market void. A vacuum of need, waiting for something or someone to fill it. That someone was Alan Jones, a Tennessee banker and debt collector. Jones wasn't a Wall Street titan. He was a small-town operator who, by his own account, saw a problem up close. He saw employees at his family's collection agency who couldn't make it to their next paycheck. So in 1993, he opened the first check into cash. He wasn't trying to build an empire. He was, in his own narrative, simply providing a service the banks refused to. He was the quintessential market innovator, financial first responder stepping into the breach. This wasn't happening in a vacuum. The 1980s had shattered the old financial order. Deregulation swept through Washington, tearing down the walls that had contained banking for decades. States, desperate for capital, began repealing their own usury laws. A new, more ruthless financial logic was taking hold. The ground was fertile for a new kind of lending. And Jones had planted the seed. He was simply one of the first to realize just how explosive the growth could be. The real genius, the catalyst that turned a local service into a national industry, was a piece of brilliant, cynical legal engineering. How do you charge an interest rate that is, by any traditional measure, illegal? You argue that it isn't interest at all. You call it a fee. This was the key that unlocked everything. The transaction was reframed. It wasn't a loan. It was a deferred presentment service, a cash advance. The borrower writes a post-dated check for, say, $115, and the lender gives them $100 in cash. That $15 isn't 391% annual interest. It's a flat fee for the convenience. By sidestepping the word interest, the industry sidestepped decades of consumer protection law. This is the answer to how it's legal. It operates in a parallel regulatory universe that it helped to create. One state regulator at the time called it a legal fiction. But it was a fiction that would prove to be worth billions. From this legal loophole, a house of cards was built into a skyscraper. Jones's model was replicated, franchised, and supercharged with Wall Street capital. Check cashing outlets morphed into professionalized lending chains, spreading across the deregulated map of America. The Center for Responsible Lending notes that states with no rate caps have nearly 5 times the concentration of these storefronts as those with strict limits. The industry didn't just find a market, it colonized it. They formed powerful lobbying groups, pouring millions into state and federal campaigns to protect their carefully constructed legal fiction. The rough-edged solution to a local problem had been sanitized, scaled, and transformed into a political powerhouse. At its core, the architecture of the industry was now in place. But the true engine of its profitability wasn't just the fee. It was something else entirely, hidden in the very design of that 2-week repayment term. A feature that guaranteed the machine would never, ever stop running. For 5 acts, we focused on the symptom, the staggering 400% APR, the $9 billion in annual fees, the political lobbying. But all of that is the exhaust from the engine, not the engine itself. You might think the business model is simply charging an exorbitant price for a small loan. The reality, hidden in the fine print of the contract, is far more elegant and far more ruthless. Unraveling this brings us to the core of the machine. The real product being sold isn't money. It's the cycle itself. We call it the Debt Trap Flywheel, and it's a masterpiece of financial engineering built on 3 interlocking components that work in perfect, predatory harmony. First, the repayment structure. Unlike a car loan or a mortgage, which you pay back in manageable installments, a payday loan demands a single, lump sum repayment. The entire loan amount, plus the fee, is due at once. A $500 loan requires a $575 payment in one shot. Second, the short-term deadline. The loan is typically due in 2 weeks, precisely timed to the borrower's next paycheck. This window is intentionally too short for a person's underlying financial precarity to change. The emergency that required the loan in the first place has not been resolved in 14 days. And third, the key that turns the lock, direct bank account access. As part of the agreement, the borrower grants the lender the authority to automatically debit the full amount on the due date. This isn't a suggestion, it's an automated trigger. Now, let's put the pieces together. Imagine you're the borrower. Your $500 emergency is over. But now you face a new crisis. On payday, the lender is set to withdraw $575, leaving you with a massive hole in your budget for rent, groceries, and gas. You can't afford that. So the lender presents an alternative, an easy way out. Don't pay back the $500 right now. Just pay the $75 fee, and they will extend the loan for another 2 weeks. You can roll it over. This is the moment the trap springs. The borrower, facing the choice between a catastrophic debit and a manageable fee, almost always chooses the fee. And with that single decision, the flywheel has completed one rotation. The lender has collected pure profit. The principal remains untouched, and the cycle is guaranteed to repeat in 2 weeks. This is why, According to the CFPB, staggering 80% of all payday loans are rolled over or renewed. It's not a bug in the system. It's the entire point of the system. This isn't a loan in the traditional sense. It's a financial product architected to make the principal nearly impossible to repay. Think of it like a casino that only lets you cash out your chips after you've bet your entire stack on a single hand. The house doesn't hope you'll lose. Its profitability depends on it. The Pew Charitable Trust found the average borrower is indebted for 5 months, paying far more in fees than the original loan amount. For a typical $375 loan, that's $520 in fees. The industry doesn't make its money on one-time rescues. It harvests it from long-term captivity. The architecture of the product is so perfectly calibrated for this outcome that individual intent becomes irrelevant. The machine is designed to do exactly what it does. We have now closed the loop. We know how a $500 emergency spirals into a debt of thousands. We know why borrowers take loan after loan. We have seen the blueprint of the machine. But what we haven't fully confronted is the human cost. What is the fallout for the 12 million Americans caught in this flywheel every single year? So, this is the fallout. We've unraveled the shocking APR, the political maneuvering, and the criminal empires built on the industry's most extreme logic. We've seen the blueprint of the debt trap flywheel, the elegant, 3-part mechanism that turns a 2-week loan into a 5-month sentence. The intellectual puzzle is solved, but what we're left with is a far more unsettling moral paradox. The central question we opened with remains: is this industry a necessary evil? Or is it simply evil? The industry's defenders, and even many economists, will tell you that these lenders are filling a void. A chasm created by mainstream banks that have deemed low-income Americans too risky to serve. In this view, the payday lender is a symptom of a much larger disease: the failure of our society to provide a basic financial safety net. They argue that for 12 million Americans a year, a 400% APR loan is still a rational choice when the alternative is eviction, a utility shutoff, or losing a job because your car can't be fixed. Without them, they ask, where do these people turn? To unregulated, illegal lenders who offer far worse? They believe they are providing a brutal, but necessary, service. But the evidence tells a different story. It suggests the product isn't a bridge over a financial gap. It's a hole that the industry digs deeper. A business model that harvests $9 billion a year in fees cannot be a mere byproduct of market failure. It is its own self-perpetuating market. The data is unequivocal. The profitability of this machine is not derived from successful, one-time rescues. It is engineered to profit from the 80% of borrowers who are forced to roll over their loans, again and again. It monetizes desperation, turning a temporary crisis into a chronic condition. So where does that leave us? Perhaps with the words of one former industry executive who described the model as the most elegant, destructive financial product I have ever seen. It's a statement that captures the core conflict, a simultaneous admiration for the brutal efficiency of the architecture, and horror at its human consequences. And this is where the focus must shift. The ultimate villain of this story may not be a single company or a specific CEO. The true antagonist is a system that allows such a conflict to exist. A regulatory environment, bought and paid for by millions in lobbying, that legitimizes a product whose success is directly proportional to its users' inability to escape it. An economic reality where the median borrower, earning just $30,000 a year, has no other door to knock on. The payday loan industry didn't create the desperation, but it perfected the art of mining it. This brings us to the final, unavoidable question. When a system's profitability depends on its users' failure, can it ever be considered a legitimate service? And what does it reveal about our financial architecture that such a system is not only legal, but for millions, a last resort? There is no easy answer. But now, when you see that bright, reassuring storefront on a lonely street corner, you won't just see the promise of quick cash. You will see the blueprint. You will understand the cold, perfect logic of the machine operating behind the glass. A machine that will be there, waiting for the next person to fall.